I know, right?
You
How are you guys?
You can do the
Good, good. We don't need this.
Thank you.
We're good.
Literal mic drop.
I know, it sounded pretty good though, didn't
Yeah,
it?
I know. The problem is when it's speaking, it's not really sounding very loud.
I know, it sounds like you're choking on it or something.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for coming out. It's
My
a pleasure to
pleasure.
have you here.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
for being here with us today.
I'm surprised there's people in here.
Oh, why are you surprised? You're wonderful. Can we begin? Go way back.
All right.
To your beginning of performing. How did it start? Were you interested in acting first or wrestling first?
Oh, I wanted to do it both. I grew up a tall, skinny kid, glasses, braces in Canada, in Saskatchewan. And there was nothing going on around there, but I would watch Stampede Wrestling, the Hart family, and then I would watch action movies until Sunday. And then I'd have to go back to school, and I was so pissed off about having to go back to school that I just said I'm going to do that one day. And then one day I ended up going to the Harts and started wrestling there, and then went to California and started doing that, and then transitioned into the film. And when I got X-Men, I hung up my wrestling boots and never looked back.
So would you say that acting was like your main passion and wrestling was a way in? Or were you more athletic in that sense?
It was both, yeah, because like I was doing martial arts and football and stuff like that as a kid, and then transitioned into the wrestling. But it was definitely a great stepping stone to get me to where I am today.
Yeah. And so X-Men was your first breakout, yeah?
Well, the first big thing, yes.
Right.
I had done some other films prior to.
What was your audition like for that?
For X-Men?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, so I went and did my research, and it was in the Valley in California. I went into this comic book shop, and I said, hey, you got any X-Men comics? The guy goes, yeah, all those rows there. I said, you got anything with Sabretooth? Yeah, those 4 rows there. And I was like, okay. Pick me out some of the good ones. And so then I ended up leaving with a stack of comic books. So I read the comic books, and I was like, oh, because I'd seen the cartoon as a kid, but I was like, I really want this role. So I went down to a place called Cinema Secrets, where they sell like the fake teeth and stuff like that. So I got the fake teeth, then I got some Polydent, put that in, and I went in to see, I had a meeting with Bryan Singer. So I walked into this office, went to the bathroom, put these teeth in, felt like a real idiot. I go into this office, knock on this door, and there's this kid sitting on the couch typing. And he's like, I said, I'm here to see Bryan Singer, thinking with his fangs and long hair. And he goes like this to me. And he keeps typing. And I'm like, who is this little shit? And he lifts up his head, he goes, seriously, he's like this, he goes, I'm Bryan Singer, and you're Sabretooth.
Oh.
Holy shit. And then he got up from the couch, threw his computer down, jumped up on, he had a glass table in his office, jumps up on there, and he literally goes, choke me. So I go, wow! And he goes, you got the job. So that was my whole audition process.
How was filming that?
Fantastic. You know, working with guys like Sir Ian McKellen and Halle Berry and Famke and all of them. I mean, it was just fantastic.
What were some of the biggest challenges of that shoot?
Oh, God, the contact lenses. Those were horrible. They actually left them in my eyes for 12 hours one day, and they sucked to my eyes at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't open my eyes. It felt like railway spikes going through my eyes. So they had to throw me into a van, drive me to the eye doctor's. She got out of bed, came, and was like, what the hell's going on? She had to cut them off my eyes with a scalpel and peel them off my eyes. So yeah, that was the last time I did that. And then after that, I only had to wear them for a few hours every day.
Good thing.
Yes, so yes, I learned my lesson. Now if I ever do anything, it's like 2 hours, they're coming out, and that's it. So you better get
breaks and relief.
Because those your eyeball
For sure.
doesn't breathe at all.
Yeah.
So
What were some of the biggest delights of that shoot?
Oh God, just working with everybody, you know? Getting to do the fight on the top of the Statue of Liberty, I mean, come on. It was just fantastic. Yes. I got no complaints, I got a great career.
Yeah, you do. Moving on to Halloween. How did
Yes.
that come into your life?
That I did, I auditioned for Rob Zombie's Devil's Rejects. I didn't hear anything, didn't get the job, went to Dallas Page, but Rob had another plan. He was replacing the Rufus, and that was the whole reason I was there. And I didn't know it, nobody told me. Nobody tells you anything when you're an actor, right? So then the next day the phone rings and my agents go, they want you in this film. I go, what role? They go, you're Rufus, and you're gonna be filming for 4 days. So I was like, okay, whatever. I was like, oh, I die real quick before the credits roll? Great. That's great fucking roll, right?
Yeah.
And then they go, no, it'll be okay. So after that 4 days filming with Rob, get a call a few years later, it's Rob Zombie on the phone. Now that's a call you're gonna take, right? So he says, hey, I got this movie I want you to do. If you don't do it, I'm not doing it. And I said, what is it? He goes, it's Halloween. I'm like, Rob. He goes, no, listen to me. And he explained how he wanted to make it a three-dimensional character and not just one-dimensional like it was in the past, tell its whole backstory, and explain how he's a product of his environment. I was like, cool, I'm in. And then we ended up doing 2 of them. Yeah.
What was it like stepping into the shoes of Michael Myers, such a legendary villain character?
Yeah. You know what? Luckily, I did not know how big the franchise was. I knew there were several of them, and I watched all of them, but I didn't know that the fan base was so fanatical, you know?
Oh, be
I just
crazy.
So I just went and did my thing, you know? And luckily, everybody seemed to like it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We gotta talk, of course, about Victor Crowley.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of funny because I'm really close friends with Derek Mears, and he was the latest Jason. And Adam calls Derek because Derek was in one of his films, and he says, "Hey, do you think Tyler would be in my film?" He goes, "Why don't you just fucking call Tyler?" So the phone rings and it's Adam Green. I'm going, "Oh, hey Adam, how are you?" He's like, "I want you to be in this movie, but you die before the credits roll." I'm like, "Okay, count me in."
It's a trend. It's a thing.
Cameo at the beginning, great. Let's do it. So yeah, that was fun. And that was, I mean, I filmed for probably an hour and a half on that, and that was it. And then I was going home.
Wow.
Like, you're not even going to give me lunch? Son of a bitch.
Efficient.
Very efficient.
Efficient.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Do we have any audience questions? Yes.
Okay, in the scenes, obviously, when you're Michael Myers, you're like, in my opinion, the most brutal, like, I don't know, you scare me. So when you were filming...
Well, then I did my job.
No,
right?
you did it. That's
Okay,
what-
good.
My question is, did you do it too good to when they were rolling and you were interacting with the actors to like, were you going too good to where they say, tone it back some, or were they saying, keep it going, Rob Zombie saying like, be more brutal, because like I said, your portrayal was so like up
Yeah.
there, the way you throw them or just pick them up and
Yeah,
So-
well, thank you.
Yeah.
That is just from my wrestling background. You know, you go all out or nothing, but you take
Yeah.
care of everybody. You
yeah,
know?
that's what I was wondering.
And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
It
you
was a
did
lot
it.
of fun.
You did it good.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
Someone back there? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What was your favorite kill in Rob Zombie's script?
Oh my God, I got a few of them. My favorite is the nurse in Halloween 2. Okay, Octavia. That was a vicious kill. And technically, I'm the only serial killer to kill an Oscar winner.
There you go. There you go.
So that's my number one. And you know, you got to throw Big Joe Grizzly in there. That was a vicious one. And then Danny Trejo. Everybody's like, why did you kill Danny? Like he's gonna let me go? Oh yeah, just walk out of the asylum. It'll be fine. Just have a, you know, you got a weekend pass. Go ahead. Just have a
I won't tell.
That shit ain't gonna happen. So he had to die. Yeah.
Did you get to keep any of the overalls or masks?
Oh God, I had everything. I had several sets of everything. I had Halloween 1 mask, the orange mask, the Halloween 2 mask. I had both the knives, but and I had all the jumpsuits. I had the escape outfit, but I had them all in the closet, and I was like, I need to find these a new home. So a guy who takes care of that stuff and loves Halloween almost as much as I do, probably more than I do, has them all now in his collection, except for the first knife. Because the very first knife, after I got done wrapping, the props guy came to me and he goes, here, Tyler, you deserve this.
Wow.
You did Michael right. So I've had to keep that one.
Yeah.
That one's dear to the heart.
And you did do them good.
So thank you.
Anyone else?
Questions? Yes?
So being a big
No, it's not an open bar.
I get known for that.
I gotta know. I missed this.
So being a big guy, being athletic with your background, so when you get into these acting roles and they're the nonverbal, physical, how much creative liberty do you have? Like you get the script, you read the script, you know, the writer stuff there. Would they just kind of give you freedom in conveying the emotion of the scene, like when you're attacking someone? Do they give you freedom in how you want to do that? Like, you know.
Yeah, Rob picked me because he knew I had the wrestling background and he obviously liked what I did in the Devil's Rejects, and he just let me do my thing. You know, I explained to him what I was wanting to do, like when you first see Michael in the asylum and you see my back, I'm slouched, I'm, you know, shuffling, and as I get my coveralls back, he's coming more upright, and then when he digs up the mask and puts it on, it's on. And he's a full-on killing machine again. Yeah, and I explained the way I wanted to do that and with my body movements, and he's like, go for it, you know?
So you have to, so then when it comes to reading the script, you still have to get deep involved though, right?
Oh yeah. You gotta figure out what actions are happening and how they would relate to you and how you would relate to those actions. You know, everybody thinks that Michael Myers is just out there to kill Laurie Strode. No, he's not. The way I portrayed it is I'm trying to reunite with her as a family member, and she's the only family member that I give a shit about, so I'm not going to kill her until she tries to stab me in the first one. And then it's like, what the hell? Totally a lack of communication.
So as an actor, would you say, like, how do you approach a role in developing your character? Does it happen when you're reading the script in audition? Does a lot of it happen when you're in costume and you're feeling it, or how's this for you?
It happens all the way along, you know? Like I would read the script, being slightly dyslexic, I would read the script and be like, what the fuck is this? You know, and then I have to reread it a couple of times and analyze it and then break down what I wanted to do with my character. And then of course, when you do a fitting for, say, Halloween, and you do mold of your face and you see the mask for the first time, you're like, oh, okay, you know? And then you do the fitting for the coveralls, you get another kind of feeling of how you want to portray that character and how you're going to move as him. And then when it's the first day of shooting, you have your jumpsuit on, you put the mask on, and then put that knife in your hand. He's there, and he's killing.
Wow.
Yeah. So it develops all the way along. It changes, and it's ebb and flow.
Has there ever been a time where you had a preconceived notion of how you were physically going to be a character, and then you put the costume on and you're like, that's not going to work?
Totally, yeah. Like for for Jupiter's Legacy. I don't know, has anyone seen Jupiter's Legacy? It was on Netflix. I played Black Star. That is my favorite character to date. A cocky badass that can beat the shit out of everybody. He's got a soft side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves romance novels. And don't interrupt him when he's reading his romance novels. But yeah, just that character. Once I got that suit on, they're like, oh, we're gonna do all these fight scenes and all this. I'm like, no, you're not. You put that suit on and it's like taking 100-pound tensor rubber bands and trying to move. It was so hard to move in that suit. And you tried to explain it to them, but then the only time that they realize is that when you get on set, you get that on and you try and move and they're like, how come you're not moving? I told you. You want to put it on? Go ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it all changes and evolves and then you have to figure it out. Make it work.
Yeah.
You gotta get it in the can.
Yeah.
Otherwise you don't have a movie. Yeah. Questions? Yes.
I have a question. So when you're playing like such a dark character like is there ever a time where like you're playing the character and then you go to real life and it's kind of a mental fuck and you're like, I don't know how to like switching between like I'm a character and like my brother just is a nice guy on the street, like is there like
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Like, oh shit,
On-
I'm not like this bad guy.
Yeah, on tough days of filming where we'd have some vicious stuff, you know, I mean, I definitely had to go home at night and sit in front of the fire and have a cigar and have a glass of wine to decompress. And then you gotta get up and do it all again in the morning, you know. And then there's nothing better than going on set and going, hey, how do you want to kill somebody today? It's like, fuck yeah, here we go.
Some more.
You might have already answered this, but do you think that like a mask as an actor helps you, or do you need fingers?
It depends. Like the way I approach it, it helps me because then I'm not myself. And for me, throughout the whole makeup process, if it's a 3-hour makeup process, for say like the Black Star for Jupiter's Legacy, it was 3 hours, and you're just like this, and then but then when I look in the mirror and I see my face, it's Black Star, and I move and I'd be like, I'm back, and then we go, and then it's right into doing what we got to do, you know. So it can help and it can hurt. It depends on how you approach it. But for me, it's nice to just kind of shed my skin and be that character.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have another one, right?
I do, I kind of have a small, I think, so, because you're a big guy, you, I don't know, you know, if the age looks out or whatever, but yourself, you've gone out for a mark, has your size ever stopped you from being able to get it for it?
Oh, hell yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Usually when you walk into the room, or I walk into a room in an audition, because they were all in-person auditions before, and as soon as you walk through the door and people go, how tall are you? That was the kiss of death, you know? But sometimes it would help. For a lot of things it would help, you know? So, like I got that on Troy. My very first meeting was like, how tall are you? And I was like 6'7". But they're like, no, we want that, you know, so for King Ajax. So the roles I get are very specific, and I enjoy that, but I'm also starting my own production company to change that so that I can do other things. We've done 2 films so far, Compound Fracture and Penance Lane, and right now we're doing a graphic novel called The Last Spartan Red Tape, which is about human trafficking awareness. So it's coming out in August. Please check it out. And thank you. That is going to be available on our websites and through my Instagrams and feeds like that to begin with. And then we're planning to hopefully turn it into a TV series. So I would appreciate all your support so we can do that and make a kick-ass TV series.
Definitely.
Yeah. Questions? This is a Q&A. Somebody's got to have a question or we're not doing any A's. Yes.
Were you ever asked if we had another slasher?
Other than Michael Myers?
No, after Mike Myers, were you ever called to play as another slasher?
Oh, I get calls all the time from people who go, hey, come here. No. You know, it's got to be right. It's got to be the right situation. You know? Yeah.
When you watch the movie and it's finally done, are you happy with every performance you've done, or when you watch it you think, oh, I would have changed this, or I should have done this there, or when you see it you're like, wow, that's better than I even thought I did?
Yeah, most of the time it works out, wow, that's better than, you
That's
know.
awesome.
Because you get the music, you get the editing and all of that. There's only one film in my whole career that I go, what? Not saying the name. Yes.
Are you glad that they didn't put you in a skin-tight suit for Sabretooth?
Oh my God. I don't think anybody would want to see me in a skin tight suit. I for damn sure knows that I wouldn't want to be in one.
But if they did put you in that suit, would you be wearing it?
Well, I'd have to if I wanted the paycheck. But I'd be in the gym a lot more than I am now, you know what I mean? It depends on how much time they give you to prepare for it. That's the thing.
Probably
It
like
takes a
baby
while.
powder.
Yeah, a little bit.
How much time do you typically get for a
It depends.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be months, it can be half a year, it can be just about a year, it can be a week, it can be a few hours,
Really?
you know? Like with Playing with Fire, probably none of you guys saw that. Did anybody see Playing with Fire that I did with John Cena? It's a comedy. I crossed the line. But it was a fun little thing. But they originally had the mountain on there, and he just took off in the middle of the night after 2 weeks of shooting. And so one of the guys that was on the shoot was on X-Men and said, why don't you call Tyler Mane? And then they looked me up and they're like, you think he'd come? He goes, well, call him. So they called me and they said, how fast can you get here? I'm like, wait a minute, we got a contract to do first, you know? So that contract was done within a few hours, and I was on a plane that next morning flying to Vancouver to take over for this guy, and had to reshoot all his shit that he screwed up and left, and so he should have been in the mountain too. No, I'm kidding. That would have been fun though. Yes.
So, question, with your athletic background, do you do your own sets?
Yes. I draw the line at getting lit on fire or getting thrown off of a building. Yeah. Like for Joe Dirt, that was not me burning. But I did pee on the fire. You can clearly see the cut point where they switch. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well, just piggyback off of that, with doing all your own stunts, do you have any lingering injuries from saying, oh, this knee is not the same after Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, or whatever? You have like alien injuries you've taken from shoots?
That's the wrestling career.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got 2 new hips, you know, I'm meshing metal from the waist down. But it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the price you pay, you know? But,
Did you start wrestling in the hopes of getting into acting, or how did
Yes.
that, like,
yeah, because like I say, I was a tall, skinny kid, glasses, braces. I hated school with a passion. I was picked on. I would watch Stampede Wrestling Saturday morning, then I'd watch action movies, and I'd end that whole weekend with The Wonderful World of Disney. Anybody remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Watching that.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett or whatever it'd be on, you know? I'd be like, yeah, and then I'd have to go to school again.
Yeah.
And I go, I'm gonna do that someday.
Awesome.
And everybody's like, yeah, no, you're not. I'm coming from Saskatoon. Who does that, right? And then I just said, I'm gonna go do it. Went and started wrestling, and here we are. Here we are, sitting on the stage here now talking to you guys. Yeah.
Any other future Rob Zombie movies you're gonna be in? Probably can't talk about it, right?
I haven't talked to Rob about a project for a while, so I don't even know what he's got in the works. So, but you never know, it might happen. If he's smart, he'll hire me. I think he'll be like, oh, Tyler, he charges too much.
Anybody else out there? I know you got it.
Questions? Yes.
So have your fangs from your.
I do have my fangs. I have my fangs, and I have the original fangs that I wore in the film, and I have my rubber forehead from Sabretooth. And I got Wolverine's dog tags. The ones that I took.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's
Yep.
your favorite?
Do I miss my long hair? You know, I thought I would, but I did a film where they showed the top of my head, and it was so, I mean, when you have long hair like I had, you can only comb it over so much. It just wasn't working. And as soon as I shaved my head, my wife goes, wow, you look 10 years younger. I'm like, what, am I 12 now? She goes, no, you act 12. We're good then. We're good. Questions? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was it like working with Rob Zombie and Malcolm McDowell?
Well, Malcolm McDowell is a whole different piece of work. But working with Rob, fantastic. And Malcolm was fantastic. But Malcolm would try and make you laugh all the time, you know? It's like when we were doing the scene where I'm sitting handcuffed in the chair in the asylum with the painted mask on. He comes in, he's like, oh, I bet I can make you laugh in 10 seconds. I'm like, shut up. And so he's like, my dear boy, I'm gonna slap you with a rubber dildo and all this stuff. You see me smirking in the mask. And Rob's like, God damn it, Malcolm. This tape is not cheap. We filmed on tape. It wasn't, you know, we were using Super 16 and it's hard to find. And here's Malcolm just going off with rubber dildos and whips and chains and shit. You know? And then the other time was in the time when I snatch him in the front of the house when he's with Lori and he squeals like a little girl. We would film that and he would pontificate, telling stories and stories and stories. And Rob comes to me, he goes, okay, Tyler, next time he opens his mouth, just snatch his ass. So he goes, oh, ah! And he squeals like a pig. That was because Rob said, snatch his ass, run it on tape.
So, as of today, if you Google Deadpool, you are all over it. You're the big news. Is it nice to be able to finally talk about it? Was it?
Well, they kind of hit me by surprise, you know, because when you do stuff like this, you have NDAs, you're not allowed to talk about it. Some dumbasses will go and talk about it. I'm not that dumbass, because I know I want to be hired again, right? So then, all of a sudden, I didn't even know it was coming, and then all of a sudden yesterday morning, my feed and my emails start blowing up, and everybody and their dogs texting me, and I'm like, shit. So then I saw it, and I'm like, well, I guess this means I can maybe talk about it now.
But only maybe.
But only maybe.
We're not sure yet.
Oh yeah, I had to call my managers and my agents, and I'm like, get the legal team on this, because, you know, otherwise I would have been doing PR for it, or lining stuff up myself. But so they kind of just took me by surprise. So I have meetings on Monday with my teams, and we're going to see what we can do. Because I was under the impression that it wasn't going to be anything said until after it was released.
Well, made you very popular this weekend, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What do you think is better, being surprised like that or like knowing it's coming?
Well, definitely for my PR team, knowing it's coming. Because now they're going to go, what the?
But for you, is it kind of nice to have that surprise because usually everything is so planned out? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised and shocked that the way Ryan did it, and it was a big honor. You know, we don't have room for another and then there I am. So yeah, it was kind of cool. Kind of cool. Any other questions, or is it lunchtime?
Man is hungry. He wants to go eat some dinner. Are we good to let him go? Yeah?
All right.
All right. Everyone, give it
Well,
up.
thank you, everybody.